But he lost a lot of points with that fucking Game of Thrones bullshit, so.
Oh, yeah, absolutely did.
Shooting in yeah. All right.
Yeah.
What did you have? You want to do gays or you want to do your story?
No, let's do gays first.
All right. Hi, gays.
Hi, gays.
How you doing? Hey, this is nice because we're just on the heels of Pride kicking off right here in the beautiful city filled with beautiful gay people. Pride, I believe, first week of August here. It's a touchy one. It's this straight pride thing is throwing a monkey wrench in everybody's big gay plans.
Well, you had to have seen it coming in today. You push about being gay so much that you basically are trying to make it feel like straight people are, like diseased or some shit. You gotta expect the pushback.
I'm surprised it caught on. It was a big scare in Calgary, but it didn't. When the time came, it didn't materialize like they thought it would. And straight people, stop it. It's stupid. But there's a reason. There's a reason you don't get straight pride parade. And as I said earlier, it's the same reason there's not cemeteries for living people.
That's right.
It's stupid. Stop it. What comes next? Pedophile pride and all kinds of idiot pride crap. These people fought long and hard to get the rights they've got. Let them have them. We never did. We never fought for anything. You don't fight for the right to be white and privileged.
No. Well, technically, we did fight, but we just fought unfairly.
Exactly. I had this fight with my roommate about, he said how Canada is changing and how we used to value human life, and now because of the way things have changed, no, we did not. We rode on trains and fucking shot them for sport when we first got here. Tell me we value human life.
No, we don't.
We are all, our country's 150 years old. The first immigrants are still alive.
Come on.
So, the country's changed so much since those people started coming. Who? Us? We are those people, you idiot. It's been 100 years.
Yeah. We still are those people.
Yeah.
Look how we still treat the natives, for Christ's sake. I mean,
Donald Sutherland is still kicking. He was one of the first. He's 102 or something like that. My roommate was in residential school. Like, he's our age. He got the big settlement. He was one of the, like, you think that was a thing that happened years and years ago. No, it was people our age suffered that. Yeah. That horrible, terrible, most racist thing in the world. No other country's ever done something so sadistic. Oh, but our country changed so much since those brown people came, and they don't respect we don't respect our whatever.
We don't have a way of life. I mean, that's the thing. Like, when you sit back and you say, like, what would you consider to be, like, Canadian? I mean, like, what are you going to sit there and say? We watch, hockey games? We have barbecues all year round? That's
about it. There are some distinctly Canadian things, like poutine, but we don't have a distinct, 150 years ago, we were the niggers, the Irish and the Scottish. We were the ones that couldn't get jobs. We had to move to Manitoba because they wouldn't hire us in Ontario. When you talk about these people, we were these people just a couple years ago.
I mean, poutines are new. Like, you can't even call that a true Canadian thing. It's because it's too new.
Well, I think we are new. It was really, speaking of this, a conversation I overheard on the SkyTrain, which I constantly do. So if you ever see me on a train, guaranteed I'm listening in on whatever you're saying. But it was some teenagers, high school age. I don't know. I can't tell them apart. They're all 12 in my mind. I don't know. These are high school age people talking about their parents and the year that their parents came here. And they said, my parents came here about 1999. And then the other girl's eyes looked all buggy, and she said, no, they weren't boat people. Do you remember the boat people?
The boat people?
I think. You would have been in Ontario at the time when the boats just started showing up, and they were like derelict boats filled with immigrants who had tried to come here illegally, and they tried to get in, and it was like the boat people, and you could see them drifting into harbor for like 3 weeks, right? And it was this big thing, the boat people, and then we had to process them all, and it was a big thing, and like they all got turned away. But eventually, I guess some of them got in, and whatever, they got processed as refugees. There's like 30,000 people or whatever. But now that's a thing for first-generation Canadian kids. Some of their parents were the boat people. And they're talking about that. And I was like, oh, my God, I remember because I worked at a gas station, and it was right on the harbor, and you could see the boats. And we're like, oh, my God, the boat people. Like, it was like a horror movie. The boat people are coming. What do we do? And it was like, they're all emaciated. They haven't eaten in 3 weeks on the ocean. But yeah, now they're here and they have kids, and these kids, their parents were those boat people. And it's like, if you're our age and you remember the boat people coming, it would be weird that now they're integrated and they're a part of it. And it's got to be hard for a child to talk about how they're one of the boat people. Like, it wasn't necessarily a derogatory thing, but it was just such a huge thing.
That's really funny.
So, it threw me for a loop the other day. I forget where I was going. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I'm interested that's kind of been forgotten. I forgot all about it until they mentioned it.
Clearly, I forgot that. I barely even know what the fuck you're talking about.
I forget where they were mostly from. A weird country. Well, no country's weird. I don't mean it like that. I just mean that not frequently referenced country. Like, I don't know. I don't remember. We'll have to look them up. The boat people of 1999. Anyway, I was talking about gays, not boat people.
That's right. Yeah, we went way off topic on that one.
We did. So, and hey, gay boat people, this involves you too.
That's right.
Professors at Johns Hopkins University, very respected place that does lots of cool investigations into things. They conducted a study, a massive 3-part study. 8 studied children for 12 years. Came up with a 143-page report that claims, I should say, that there is absolutely no evidence to suggest that anybody is actually born gay. Gay brains are different. It's not inborn. There's nothing showing that it's inborn.
So I guess they're basically suggesting that if you're gay, it's because of it's either upbringing, your surroundings, things like that.
The way they said it was exactly basically what you said. It's either environmental or I had it written down because it sounded good, and I wanted to sound like it was my idea. And I can't find it now. Yeah, but exactly what you just said. Environmental or it could just develop later. Your brain could change as you develop. They can't say that. But it's not genetically hereditary. Apparently, it's not. You're not born that way. It doesn't come from your parents. Gay parents could have straight kids and vice versa. There's no hereditary link. It's not genetic, is what they said, and I can't find where they.
Hereditary makes sense. I understand, but it wouldn't be hereditary. That just makes sense. But I think I do believe that there are, you're just, when you're born, you're born, and because you're born as a boy, you're born as a girl, you're raised to be with the opposite sex, and it just never seemed right until you finally discover that you are just, it turns out I'm just into people my own sex.
But to that note, the 80% of respondents who identified or had homosexual tendencies up until the age of 7 to 12, after the age of 12, 80% of them identified fully heterosexual. So I guess everybody's a little bit gay when you're little, and you outgrow it.
Either outgrow it or you embrace it. It's one of the two.
Yeah, exactly. Now these I didn't read in depth how how, like, what they did to influence these kids, if anything. I don't know what the variables were. If they, maybe, to put dresses in one room and jeans in the other and see what your kid comes out with when he's 12. I don't know. But I don't think they kept the kids in a room till they were 12 either. That would be not a good study.
That's just fucked up.
Hey, all you boys stay in this room till you're 12 and see if you're gay.
Let me know at what point you look at the other guy and start thinking, I need that dick in my mouth.
100% of them came out gay. Guaranteed. 100% identified as gay after that study. And can I just say, gay men, and this is only gay men, I've never had this with a lesbian person, but if someone else can pipe up and educate me, please do, eric@ericgord.com. Gay men, please stop with what Gord just said. That is not an attractive pickup line, and I hear it way more than I would like to. Stop saying that. You're never going to convince a dude with that. I don't know, maybe gay guys, that's their big line, but it's not working on that. If you got a guy on the fence, that's pushing him in the opposite direction every time. Like, every time I hear it, I just think, my God, how do women put up with that shit? Like, what do men say to women?
That's the thing, because if a woman just walks up to a guy and says, I'd love to suck your dick, there's a lot of guys who are like,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, I understand that because you're still talking the guy, even if you're gay, you're still got that guy mentality. No, you're still going to send your boyfriend dick pics. You're still going to,
yeah, but,
come on, dude, suck my dick. You know what I mean? Like,
I would never walk up to a woman who I might potentially sleep with and say something like that in any regard. Not to someone I didn't have like an already pre-sexual relationship with. But I have had it from several gentlemen, if I can use the term so loosely, who just lean over and say that to me. And it's like, what? In what universe is that appropriate?
In the gay universe, that goes over quite well.
I'm not offended by the gayness of it. I'm flattered partially, but no, you're not floating my boat with that kind of talk.
See, I once got a date with a woman strictly because out of a random conversation where I was in BC and I was talking to this couple as a guy and a girl. I was at the bar alone one night and I got talking to these couple. They're really funny. And we're shooting the shit, and the conversation had gotten over to a bit of a sexual tone, and I just said, look, and I said it kind of loudly, and I just go, look, you'll be hard-pressed to find any other man in the world that can eat a pussy better than I can. And this girl from behind me just sort of pipes up. She goes, really? I said, I just looked at her very, very friendly. Keep in mind, I was drinking, so my trepidation wasn't there anymore. I just sort of said, oh, trust me, I'll have you screaming and panting in no time. And I got a date out of her from it.
Well,
so it does work,
You might be up against some stiff competition, pun intended.
No, I'm not.
Because I heard a girl in the park yesterday at lunchtime talking about her girlfriend's brand new vibrating tongue ring. That's a thing you can get, apparently.
That's been around for fucking years.
A vibrating tongue. I had no experience with a vibrating tongue ring, but that's good on you, girls, for that. Very impressive.
I will say this.
As I go to bed with my flashlight.
My resume actually has. Oh no, you know what? I'm not sure if I can say this on the air. Can I say this on the air?
Can you keep it?
No, I don't know if I can.
Can you keep it below our X-rated?
Well, it's not that. It's just. Give me a second. Let me think about the verbiage here. You know what? I can. Since it happened in BC, I can use it.
Wait, what does the provincial have to do with it?
Because I know people here as well where it could be misconstrued that I'm talking about somebody else.
I just thought you meant, we'll never get listened to in Saskatchewan after I'm done.
No. there's somebody on Ontario that they can be misconstrued on talking about that.